your department do just that. I'm John Pennington, and I'm asking for your vote for Mesa County Sheriff in 2014. Thank you.
Folks, there is one thing standing between us and the tyranny that awaits us, and that is our own activism, our own actions, and our hard work to maintain the freedom and the lawful authority we have over that freedom in our state, in our communities. And that's why we have to sit back and allow a man like that to stand up and lead. And thank you, John. This is a major, major commitment, both in terms of your money, your time, and your well-being. So we owe you a debt of gratitude for standing up. Thank you very much.
I do it with willingness and love.
Our next speaker, Kevin McCarney, is the president of Freedom Colorado. He has been targeted by the IRS because of his patriotic activities and his activism. This man has walked the walk and lives what he's about to deliver to you. I thank you, Kevin, and here we're going to hear about the IRS and the surveillance state.
Yay, IRS.
I'm going to give you the good stuff before I am forced to sing. So my backup singers need to start working their way towards the front as well as my guitarist. Just to make you guys all feel safe, hey, this is a Verizon phone. It comes with the legal NSA, FBI, CIA, IRS, and Homeland Security apps. So all you in the crowd, there you go. I'd like to thank the Mesa County Patriots for putting on this event today. I'd like to thank them for this opportunity to speak to y'all. I am Kevin McCarney, and for those of you listening in with the NSA or CIA, that's MC, big C, A-R-N-E-Y. Where to start? I was on the board of Western Slope Conservative Alliance. We were targeted by the IRS. We put in our application for our 501c4 in April of 2010, and about 20 months later, not approval, not disapproval, but a series of questions that were just totally illegal. The IRS was used by the Obama administration to silence conservative groups in 2010 and 2012, purposely. Now, you may think this has never happened before, but it did. In 1973, when Richard Nixon did the same thing, harassed opposing groups of his government. Well, guess what that got him? And yet, what has the IRS silencing political activism in this country brought this administration? Well, as John said, if you're lowest learner, you got a promotion. And a vacation paid by us. Not only is she sitting there collecting $177,000, but she is the person who is going to implement the Affordable Care Act. She's the person who's going to come take the money from you if you don't have health insurance. Let's talk a little bit about the second form of the surveillance government, the NSA, who's happened to build a huge multi-billion-dollar facility in Salt Lake City. Now, they say it was no big deal that they're taking 500 million phone calls every day, and they take your Facebook posts and they take your emails. They're not reading them, they're just storing them, right? And we're led to believe that they've done such a great job. They've intercepted 50 terrorist attacks.
How do we know?
Thank you. We don't. We know they missed Boston, don't we? We know they missed Fort Hood. And ladies and gentlemen, this is just not a party thing. Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. They're looking at everybody. If you're a liberal, and I don't think we have a whole lot of you here, but if you are, thank you for coming. If you're a liberal, you should be just as scared as anybody in this audience, because once they get done with me, and once they get done with David Cox, they're coming after you. Let's move on to these free ideas that we have. How many of you travel by air?
Not anymore.
I think that if the TSA is going to do something like that, they should ask for a date before they go that far, don't you? At least. Folks, we are being watched by every arm of the government you can imagine. I can imagine right now that somewhere around in one of these office buildings, there's somebody filming this, there's somebody taping this. Later on today, when people start posting videos online, those things are going to get grabbed off of Facebook, and we're all going to end up on the lists. So I'm afraid if you weren't on the list before, I've been there for a while, if you weren't on the list before, you are now. So pat yourselves on the back. I'm going to end my speaking engagement and start to bring my backup band up with a quote from Ben Franklin. I think it applies today beyond all measure. And Ben said that if you give up your freedom for security, you will have neither freedom or security. Thanks for coming today. For what I'm about to subject you to, I apologize immediately because I'm not a singer, but I have a little Weird Al Yankovic in me. Jesse Nelson is going to play guitar for us, and Dave here is going to provide the real singing voice because God knows I can't sing.
Amen.
When this song was introduced by Johnny Cash, he says, "Hello, I'm Johnny Cash." I'm not Johnny Cash, so God forgive us. Here we go. You ready?
All right.
Get it started out. Yeah. I hear the drone a-humming, the feds are after me. I thought I saw a G-man up in my aspen tree. Well, I know they read my emails. I know they bug my phone. They're all after my freedom. They're after all my freedoms. I know I'm not alone. Now holders chasing riders, whistles blowing on the feds. The IRS thinks the Tea Party should take a bullet to the head. They want to keep you quiet. They're gonna follow through. They're gonna use your taxes just to silence you. Well, the CIA is everywhere. They're probably listening to this song. The agents from the homeland will follow right along, listening to your cell calls. Your posts will all be saved. Even all those secrets you're taking to the grave. Now the liberals think it's funny, think we got what we deserve. They think that all this spying is going to take away our nerve. I know we'll win this battle. It's up to you and me. We're gonna keep on fighting. We're gonna live life free.
I thought that was a heck of a lot better than he gave us the.
Sorry.
I thought that was a lot better than he warned us for. So, thank you, Kevin. That was excellent. Our next speaker is David Justice. David, come on up here. We are tired of being shut out of the control position over our own public lands. Right now in Mesa County, they are considering a new public lands management decision, which does not include a member of our community in the controlling decision-making body. Does that bother you guys? Why are we allowing this? Our public lands are best managed by us. Is there any wonder that these forest fires are raging throughout our entire state, burning thousands of homes, destroying millions of dollars worth of good timber? Why are we allowing that to happen?
So how's that working for you? So, you know, I got 5 minutes, I'll just tell you a story. When Colorado became a state, the Enabling Act was passed by Congress. The Enabling Act is the supreme law of the land. It's a federal law. The Enabling Act provides that the principles of the Declaration of Independence and the Colorado Constitution cannot be repugnant to each other. There is a presumption inside Colorado law that the Declaration of Independence trumps everything, the principles. The Forest Service and the BLM are trustees. They're actually the federal government's agents within Colorado to manage the public lands, manage the forests, not exercise the police powers, not to be tree police. The federal government has no police power within the state of Colorado. That power is reserved to Colorado as a sovereign state. When the federal government, operating through its agencies, through its bureaucracies, begins to exercise federal police powers in the states, that is a usurpation. We need to stand against that usurpation. One way to stand against it is go open a public road that's been destroyed. I'm not telling you to do something that I myself would not do. Matter of fact, we're going to go open a couple more this summer. You might read about it. You might read about me being arrested because I'm willing to be arrested. That's where we need to be willing to go. We need to put ourselves in harm's way and be willing to be arrested for doing the right thing. Arrest is a powerful tool that sends a very powerful message and is contagious. If we want these politicians to listen to us, let's get behind them by defying the laws that they've passed under the coercion of an influence that is wholly un-American. People have asked me about civil disobedience because I take the position when the government becomes dictatorial and tyrannical, rebellion becomes a duty. Rebellion to tyranny is obedience to God. Founding Father Ben Franklin wanted that to be the national motto. Rebellion to tyranny is obedience to God. We can't rebel against America's founding principles unless we're following this government lockstep into tyranny. There has to be a break. Power doesn't concede without confrontation. Civil disobedience becomes civic duty when the government violates the law through a long train of abuses, attempts to establish a design to evincing that design to reduce the people to absolute despotism. It is at that point we have to withdraw our consent. Go find an acre of trees somewhere that the BLM says you need a permit to cut, and cut down some beetle trees. Let's show the BLM what it looks like to manage the forest by going and doing their job, and don't ask for their permission. Find a group of men with chainsaws and take your land back. And if they come and want to arrest you, don't identify yourself, don't dignify them. They are irrelevant. They are goons in costumes. They don't have the jurisdiction to arrest. And should they arrest, life will get very interesting. Give me a call. Just to tip our hand, I will be following some men. I will be participating with men. We will be reopening some of the roads the federal government has, listened to this word, occupied illegally. They are closing roads without the authority. Those roads are protected. RS 2477. Everybody, hope, has heard that. If you haven't, study. They're our roads. We're going to reoccupy those roads. We're going to be reoccupying the lands, and I trust that that kind of courage will become contagious, and those people that represent us will begin to take us seriously when we begin to take our state back. Work locally in your community. Find a road that you know should not be closed because it's been there for 100 years. Find a piece of BLM land that they want you to leave alone, and you know it's a tinder box sitting there waiting for a lightning strike. Go, defy them, commit a little act of civil disobedience, and you'll feel good about yourself. I'm David Justice. Let's have a fun revolution.
Can we get Phyllis Hunziker and Barbara Smith to come up here? These two ladies have been working hard to start an organization called Freedom and Responsibility Education Enterprise. This organization is dedicated to bringing a real education to our youth, and they would like to say a couple words about it.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Barbara Ann Smith, and I'm the president, and this is Phyllis Hunsinger, my secretary. And after we lost the election to Obama, we just were crying in our tea, and we decided we were going to do something about it. We have to help the youth. We have to help our future, and we can do that through education. I mean, why some people don't get that he is not one of us, I don't know. You know who he is. Thank you. So anyway, this foundation is going to be a charity foundation. We've applied for our 501c3 about 2 months ago, and we're waiting for them to deny us because we're right there with our guns, right? But we're not going to take no for an answer. We're going to be raising money to help teachers and students get to these summer camps that are being given so that they learn about free enterprise and our great American values. And I want to introduce Phyllis Hunsinger. She knows a little bit more about how she's been writing her paperwork, and here you are.
Well, we're just in the process. We sent off the 501c3 application May the 24th. They cashed my check right away, but I haven't heard from them yet. But we'll follow up on that. But the purpose of this is to try to provide an education for students starting at the middle school grades, so that we will not have people grow up like we saw in the last election, where they think business is evil and profit is bad. And so we want to tell them and to show them how the free market enterprise system improves the life of all people, and it has increased and improved the standard of living for poor people and across this nation. And that's what we're trying to teach through this foundation. It's called Freedom and Responsibility Education Enterprise, free foundation, and we hope to make a difference in Mesa County.
And one more thing, the U.S. Bank has given us a suite of offices free to do business, so they believe in us. Okay, guys, this is an honor to be talking before you. I have an announcement to make. I was in the parade today, and I kind of subtly made my announcement. I am running. I'm an official Republican candidate for the School Board of Education. That's at the state level. Marcia Neal is retiring, and I'm going to take her place, hopefully, and continue her great work. And I'm for vouchers and all the great American values, and I'm not for the Common Core, and I'm going to fight for all the students. We really need to educate our students conservatively. I want to make sure all schools are saying the pledge, they have a moment of silence, that they are really fiscally responsible. I've been trained as a superintendent. I'm on the local school district here's budget committee, so I know how to cut administration and a lot of other unnecessary items that we'd have to pay for. So you can really count on me to do your job. And that is 2014, and I'm starting early. You know why? Because I have to go around 27 states. And I'm going to do that as conservatively as possible and using a lot of social media. So my first fundraiser is at Dos Hombres out on the Redlands. It's August 14th, and I'm treating everyone to hors d'oeuvres. So, okay. All right, the best news is you can't write me a check over $200. God bless.
Thank you, Barbara. And I think she meant counties. You're going to visit 27 counties, states. Well, thank you very much. Taking back our education system is fundamental to turning this nation around. We cannot return to a free society governed by the Constitution without educating our youth as to what that means, what individual rights are, what individual responsibility is, what it means to be responsible and take care of yourself. Now, our next speaker is Jeff McCloskey. He's our president. He's a doctor of chiropractic here in Grand Junction. I don't think I said chiropractic right. Chiropractic, yeah. And he is here to recognize the gross, and this is perhaps one of the most